Paper.
Yes.
Logan.
Yeah.
Big walk. Early impressions. What's this? Five-ish hours? Maybe a bit more?
I'd
Yeah,
say,
maybe nearing 6.
Close to 6 maybe now.
yeah, definitely
Um,
5 to 6 hours.
2 sessions we've done. Made a bit of progress. So these are just early impressions of what's going on. Start with you, Paper. What's your thoughts? What do you like? What don't you like?
Do you know what? What I've really enjoyed about it is, well, there's
The
two
company.
elements. Wow. I really enjoyed, the moment that stuck with me was when we first came across the first chill zone, and like it was just unexpected, and it was just really nice that it just took you out in a moment, and we all sat there watched the sunrise. It's, it sounds a bit hunky dory, but it was just quite nice and peaceful, and a change of like pace from normal games. And what's also been nice is the puzzles, and the different types of communication skills we've had to do. And we've been put in positions where we look back and we go, oh, I wish we had a radio to that, but we didn't have it. And then we figured out how to do it without some of the equipment. And so that's always been pretty good fun. So, yeah, it's just been a bit of a mind thinker, but also quite a chilled game at the same time.
Yeah, and you've learnt to read a map, so you're like map man now, which I wasn't expecting at the start of this. I was thinking
Cub
there's no way
Scout.
you can be
I was
trusted.
Cub Scout. I did that, didn't I? That's why I've got it.
Duke of Edinburgh.
No, I didn't do that very well. Quit on the first
lightweight. not good enough, really. Krog, what about you? You've been dropped into this. This is what they consider a friend slot game, I think, these days. So,
I've not heard that term before.
well, everything's a slop, so this is a friend slot one, like a co-op, chill type game.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something that we've done for a while. I've obviously done a lot of these little epic puzzle games, but yeah, it's a little bit of a change of pace. I think it's meant to be kind of relaxing. There's no peril in it, really. You can kind of just explore it and do the puzzles as you want. It's actually got more. I expected it to be less linear than it is, like in terms of how you progress through and do it and stuff. But yeah, I like the little loop that we're in at the minute. Clear down the map, go through, do the puzzles, have a bit of an explore. It's quite nice, but not perfect, is it? It's a little bit janky and whatnot, but you kind of get used to it and understand how it works quite quickly.
Yes, picking up on the jank side of things, or things that you don't like. Paper. One thing I think we've all complained about is not necessarily the movement, but just getting stuck on geometry. Some inclines, they're not easy to kind of move up, and just a general bit of stickiness I find with the character. I don't know if you echo that. I feel like we've all at some point complained about that.
Yeah, you just get caught on, like, it feels like there's just like a little rock that you should just be able to traverse over relatively easy, and you seem to just get stuck on it, and it makes a little weird noise like boom boom or something like that, and it's just like, and then you have to like reverse back, and that isn't even the annoying thing. The annoying bit is getting stuck on the railway line, and then you're just like stuck there for like 5 to 10 seconds, and you're like, I can't go forward, I can't go back, and it just suddenly lets you do it, and it's just like, oh, for God's sake. But yeah, I think like that's probably the only bit of jank and annoyance within this game. I think if it was like a bit smoothed out a bit more on those type of things, it'd be proper chill.
Yeah, my theory of that is that they've done that intention so you can't like brute force your way into places that you shouldn't be able to get to. But if they made it too smooth, you'll be able to get up and over some of those mountains that are clearly designed to stop you. But we even did run into an invisible wall, so they're not against just doing that. Like out in the sea, it wouldn't let us go round the island. It stopped us, so they have got hard blockers in there. I've really enjoyed what I've played so far. I'm a little bit concerned as we go further on, and it's mainly fall to you, Paper, on the map side of things to keep us on task, but I'm concerned we'll get to a stage where we're like, we've done almost everything, and yet we're missing one of these little tokens or these puzzle pieces, because the way it kind of works is you'll come to these towers and you'll need to collect a number of these puzzles or puzzle pieces or tokens, and to get those you go and do these like challenges, these puzzles that you have to work together, and it'll drop one of these things out. My concern is that in order to kind of get through it, will it require either all of them, which will be tricky to keep track of, or a large portion, and we'll just get to a stage where we just can't progress. But so far, I feel like everything that I've early on, I was like, oh, it'd be really nice to have a torch, and then lo and behold, 45 minutes later, we got access to a torch. Then I was like, oh, it'd be really nice to have to carry more than one item, because initially you can only carry what's in your hand, and then eventually we found the curly whirlies, as we call them, where we can get backpacks and things. They are. It seems like they've got it into a way that's we're dealing out things, and it won't just get stuck. But do you have any concerns as we progress, Pape? Since you're now point man, you're under pressure here to perform.
I don't think I do. Like, I think fundamentally we figure out all the games so far, and I don't think we're gonna not figure out where a game is going to happen, because we've got the big map in the room and it has a little flag next to ones, and we'll figure out which ones haven't been done. I think we'll be fine. I think, you know, there'll be a few that maybe test our patience and we might come back to later, but fundamentally I reckon we'll be fine in the end.
Krog, you enjoy larking about. You've already annoyed me with a megaphone and a flare gun on this particular session that we just ended. You seem to enjoy jumping down hills and breaking your back and sliding down your arse. Are you enjoying just that aspect of it? Because I know you do like to mess around and prod and poke with things like that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see what things are useful for. If I figure out they're not going to be that useful for us at the moment, I'll see if I can annoy someone with it. So
that's why I have to snatch things off it and kick it in the fucking woods, then it gets lost.
Yeah, I do like the little tools and stuff they give you that you can kind of figure out whether they're going to be useful or not. But yeah, it's just a bit of a change of pace, right? And I'm intrigued to see if there's anything else they're going to kind of give us as we go along that kind of change up the game. I think one of the things that we've mentioned already is you kind of find yourself in a particular area and you kind of want to put something down for a bit in a certain space, and you can't. You just have to sort of leave them a landmark, and it's just a bit of an inconvenience to go back to them. So I'm hoping, I think we mentioned like some sort of little mid chests or something in the world.
Storage chest, yeah.
I'm just not convinced that they're going to exist personally.
Even if you could put things in like a locker back at where you spawn in, so you didn't have to go out and get the torch again, because it will retain what you've got on your person as you log out. But anything you've dropped in the world will go back to where it was originally found. So that would be handy, but I guess we'll see.
It does seem like an annoying penalty. This, if I kind of had a criticism, I don't think it really needs this inventory system that it's kind of enforcing. I think you should have like two or three things you can take, and then you take them with you. I don't really understand why it's like choose between a torch or a walkie-talkie.
Well, we've got a little belt buckle now, so we can have both. So,
yeah, I just think it doesn't really need to be that strict, if that makes sense. Like, there's enough going on. I'm not sure what it's doing other than just creating an inconvenience.
I can see that. I think it's good to have some sort of restriction in place. Sorry, go on, Paper.
I was going to say is the restriction is ideal for you to make you sort of think about these things. And there has definitely been puzzles we've come across and been like, oh, it'd have been nice to have that. And there's been nothing stopping us going back and grabbing some of those like walkie-talkies and that. But we've just been sort of like blunt forced our way through it and be like, no, we're not walking back. But I'd imagine some people would be like, you know, I quite enjoy the walk, let's go back and get them and come back and do this. And I like the idea that sometimes these puzzles probably could be therefore solved in slightly different ways, depending whether you have the gear, but it doesn't stop you solving the puzzles without the gear if you use your initiative.
No, yeah, I think it's I can see both sides of it. It's not too egregious just yet. In fact, they've given us more ways to store stuff is kind of negating that, and it has been down to our own laziness and poor planning that we've never had the walkie-talkies when we need them. However, because the game's got hand signals, and actually the way that they've thought out some of the puzzles is you don't actually need to have the walkie-talkies. And another thing is we have been playing it as intended using the game chat and not Discord, because you could it will cut you off from one another and you won't be able to hear what the other person's saying, even though there's like just a glass kind of wall between you. And I think if you are going to play the game, the spirit of it I would stick to. I know the in-game chat is just terrible in terms of quality, but I think just having us all in Discord, it would give away. We just did a puzzle earlier where it would just given away the whole thing. I'd have just said the number to paper and he would have punched it on the machine. He would have done it, but we had to think of a way to communicate whilst we were quite separated, and I think that's the fun of it. That's the point of the game. So don't try and cheese it. Is my advice. Paper, any closing thoughts?
I think I'm just excited to, continue on through this. It feels like we're maybe about a third away through the game. That's just my vibe, and it feels like I'd be really interested to see what the next 2/3 give us. I'm hoping we get a few more variety in some of the games.
Survival horror section where it's stealth and resource management.
That is where you're gonna have to drink more seawater, or not seawater in this case, and go and find the lakes. But it's yeah. As long as there's a bit of variety in the puzzles that we're gonna come across moving forward, I'll be happy. And there's not just like copy and pasting in terms of game mechanics. But so far there's been enough to keep us on our toes. And there's been links to some of the games in other games. You'll be like, oh, we've come across something similar, but there's been like when we've had to put signs up and stuff like that. But it's been done in a different way. Like it dropped us into an area where it's like, oh crap, this is going on, and we didn't have time to plan it or communicate it. And like that's nice. That was the second one we came across, but we sort of knew what to do a little bit because we'd done something similar before.
Yeah, it's starting to combine elements as well, which I've noticed, which is cool. So you learn how to do X and Y, and now you're doing X and Y together. Grog, any last thoughts?
Yeah, just hoping or want to see if it mixes anything up in kind of the second half of the game, really. But I've enjoyed the first half. I think it's just a nice change of pace and not something you expect from the people that made Untitled Goose Game, really.
No, yeah, it's quite a departure, but it's been. I just love some of the little like if we're in like a cave and you shout, it echoes.
Yeah.
In-game chat, things like that, I think are really, really nice. They've certainly spent some time thinking this through, and we haven't tested it, but the game will scale depending on how many players you put in at the start of the session. So it will adapt the puzzles. Meaning, if you've got 4 people in it, it will make them ready for 4 people. We're playing with 3 primarily at the moment, so it's kind of doing that. So you can play up to 12, which sounds crazy, but who knows? Maybe one day we'll get 12 people to play it. But I think that'll do it. Early impressions of Big Walk in the book, as usual. We'll bid you adieu, and we'll see you on the other side.